and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a quick 5 top movements that you can do to relieve the discomfort from that constant breastfeeding, formula feeding, or looking down at your baby if you've got a newborn or a little one who you find you're kind of ending up with this constant back pain or neck pain, and I hope that you can find some relief from it. So if this is the first time that you've been here, my name is Kitty. I am a registered general nurse. I'm also a lactation consultant, a birth and postpartum doula, hypnobirthing instructor, and antenatal educator. But most importantly, I am a nursing mama who is constantly, if I'm not looking down at my baby and nursing, I am baby wearing, and I have almost always this tension in my upper back, my lower back. And lucky for me, I am married to a strength and conditioning coach who has done plenty of training around women's health and really likes to pride himself on the ability that he has to help you feel really good after a session and help you feel much more fluid in your body afterwards. So he has helped me put together these 5 exercises that you can do in literally 5 minutes, so 1 minute each exercise, and these are going to help you to feel much more comfortable and much more fluid in your movements, and much more sort of relieve any of that pain or discomfort that you might be having already. So I'm going to dive straight into them, and I've got them written up here, and I'm just going to work my way through them one at a time. You don't need any equipment for this whatsoever, just you and yourself and your own body. However, if you do have either a pair of tights, or I have a little, wherever it is, one of these stretchy resistance bands, this can be really, really lovely for 2 of the exercises that we are doing. A pair of old tights also works beautifully, or if you have a top lying around that you're not using. That's beautiful. The first one is actually best done seated, and that's going to be helping to relieve all of the discomfort that you feel around the back of your neck, reaching right down to the top of our shoulder tip. And that is going to be our seated side head tilt, with what did he call it? With a chin and a tilt rotation. So best done seated, you want to grab onto the side of the bottom of the chair where you are sitting, and you want to begin by tilting your head away from the opposite shoulder. So you should feel lovely to stretch all along here. Once you've done that and you've tilted your chin right down, or your ear should go to your shoulder as far as it can, then I want you to tilt your chin as if it's going up towards the ceiling. And for me anyway, this is where I really feel the stretch. And for every stretch and hold that you do, you want to be holding it for a minimum of 10 seconds for you to get the maximum benefit. So we're now going to do the other side. So again, you're holding on to the base of the chair, the seat of the chair, drawing that shoulder down towards the ear down towards the shoulder even, elongating all of that space. And once you've felt that stretch, you're tilting your chin down towards that shoulder too. Oh, it feels so good. I love that one, and I always forget to do it. The next one that we're going to do is banded pull aparts, and this is really, really nice because you've got all that lovely tension building up from just constantly holding our babies and being constantly having this inward rotation, and now we want to work on drawing that out and back. So not only kind of strengthening and opening up this area, but also working on how we can improve things like our posture and our strength and tone in that upper back area. So this is where we're going to use these bands, and we're going to do what my husband has called it banded pull aparts. So starting with your hands kind of shoulder width distance apart, you're going to stretch your arms apart as far as you can. So I'm going to give a bit of give here because I'm not all that strong. So you're working to pull these back. You're thinking about 10 or so. I can already feel it. Oh my gosh, I'm so weak. You never would have known that I would have attended the gym an hour and a half a day before having babies. Crazy. Fun fact, that is actually where my husband and I first met, in the student gym. Oh, it's so lovely. I need to be doing this more often. He was getting very cross at me that this is the first time that I've done any of these exercises or asked him for help. The next is a seated cat-cow. You can also do this kneeling on all fours. We've said seated because primarily we're talking about doing these as all seated exercises. So if you've just nursed your baby down to sleep and they're laying down beside you and you want to sit on the side of the bed and do these, that's totally okay. So for a cat-cow, it's the same as you would do it in yoga, but it's just about really opening up this sort of lower thoracic region. So cat-cow on all fours, and you're talking about tilting your tailbone and your chin right up to the sky for our cow, and cat drawing the belly button up towards the spine, curling up and slowly, one vertebrae at a time, opening back up again. The focus is really on just opening up those spaces and giving yourself plenty of time to move in a way that you haven't ordinarily been doing so. I remember in those early days of breastfeeding Archer, I was just so sore. We've been doing a lot of time in bed, and my sweet friend just texting me and being like, okay, so now you're going to get out of the bed and you're going to do 10 cat-cows and get back into bed. And just going, oh, that was exactly what I needed. And it just felt so nice. The next one, my husband recommends doing right at a wall so that you have a bit of resistance behind you to follow and guide that shape. And these are wall angels. And this is a lot to do with kind of keeping the mobility in those rotator joints. So you're talking about being back up to the wall, hands up by your side, and just allowing them to slowly follow the pattern of the wall all the way up. And keeping everything as open as you can. The temptation to do this is huge. Feels really silly, but also feels really good. I always feel like the minute I'm given an opportunity to do something baby free, I always feel like I should be sweating and like exercising loads to get all of those or like running or burpees or doing something mad to get the jumping, get those endorphins flowing. But actually just sitting and moving and really kind of moving in a way that makes me feel good is something that I'm slowly getting better at the older I become. And then our last exercise, I already feel like so much more open, oh my gosh, is a shoulder dislocation. Again, you don't have to have one of these. You can just use like, actually maybe I should, just for the purpose of showing you that you can use something else. I have an old tea towel here. That's probably not going to be quite wide enough for me. No, I'm going to stick with my band. So this can be as wide as you need it to be in the very beginning, and what you're doing is you're just rotating. So you're starting here in front of you and going all the way over. Take a breath and all the way back. Don't be feeling the pressure to have your hands heaps closer in the very beginning if it's not something that you've been doing in a while. It is possible to pull a muscle if it's something that your body is not used to. Oh, that feels so good. Now, they are the top 5 exercises that my husband has put together for me. I have a whole separate video on kind of just bringing your core back to a place of strength if you've had diastasis recti during your pregnancy and you want to kind of think of some exercises that can help to kind of bring you back to your strength and tone there. I will make sure I link that video down below in this one, and I will see you in the next one.